Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Aviana. This is Aviana's Ascension. And today we are doing another energy update. I do these once a week, but whenever you find them is perfect. This one is for the 22nd to the 29th. Thank you guys for joining me. So I'm excited about this one because lately I've been all about consistency, staying focused, okay? Instead of indulging in the things that don't serve me, that I don't want to do, that I don't want to carry forward, I'm holding myself accountable to, do something different. Some of you guys may be spending a lot of time on your own here, all right? But yeah, it's all about not letting your emotions get the best of you, not letting logic or your brain get the best of you, right? Because as you choose to leave certain comfort zones, your brain is going to find things to kind of convince you, like, no, come back over here. Like, you're tired right now. You don't feel like it. You can do it tomorrow. Your body hurts. Oh, this person, you need to call this person back. So instead of focusing on what you need to do, call this person. It's just little things like that. Or your emotions. You don't feel like it. You're mad, you're angry, you're depressed, you're sad about something, you're hurt, you're confused, you know? And it's not to say that these things can't be true. They can be. They most likely are, right? But you don't have to give into it. All right. Instead of going backwards or being stagnant, what's one little thing you can do to keep going forward, keep progressing? It doesn't always have to be a grand gesture either. Like maybe it can be a situation like I literally just made a video about this. Like maybe you're focusing on eating healthier. So instead of saying, oh, one little treat won't hurt me, I'll start again tomorrow, I'll start Monday, I'll do this after the holidays, whatever, whatever. Instead of saying that, say, okay, I'll still have a nice Christmas dinner, but I'll make sure I go to the gym the day before. Or, okay, I'll, still, of course, participate in my little Christmas dinner, but the next day, it's back to the grind. Setting yourself up for success. Like, say you could make juices, start juicing, right? You can make a whole bunch of them, freeze them, and then, make sure one's ready for you the next day whenever you're ready to get back on the grind. You know what I mean? Instead of just waiting for yourself to feel like showing up, start showing up. Start doing little things. If you want to go to the gym more, you don't have to do a whole 2 hour thing at the gym. Maybe just a 10-minute walk. Maybe just go run on the treadmill for a little bit, run on the elliptical, the Stairmaster, and then go home. You know, just start showing up. Start doing it, chipping away at it every single day. And then one day you look up and you're like, wait a minute, this is my routine, my habits. I've totally forgotten about these other things that used to make me feel good. And now I'm actually doing things that truly make me feel good. Okay, let's get into it. So it's all about consistency, being persistent, and showing up in little ways rather than trying to do these grand gestures, because that's how you psych yourself out, right? Just showing up in little ways and seeing what's there for you. Okay, so let's get into it. So we start out with Incarita Solitude. This is the Hermit card in this deck. So yeah, it's time to lock in. It's time to really focus. Some of you guys may be surrounding yourself with people who may not have the same goals as you. It doesn't mean they're bad people or they're not as motivated as you, but if they're not motivated to do the same thing, then your goals aren't going to be in alignment. So maybe you need to take a step back from certain friendships, certain activities, certain people in general, so you can focus on yourself. This is a time for you to focus on you. It doesn't matter what other people are doing. It doesn't matter what's happened in the past. Lock in, okay? We have Crystal Technology, Silicon, okay. Abracadabra Connect, okay. I like this. I like this. Oh. Okay. Okay, very interesting. Very interesting. I like it. All right, so let's talk about it. We also have crystal technology, silicon. So some of y'all may benefit from using crystals or spiritual tools to kind of help you stay motivated and stay focused. Maybe in order to wake up like full of energy, ready to go, maybe you put some sort of energizing crystal under your pillow. That might be confusing though, because maybe it'll keep you up. Test it out and let me know. But I definitely see you wanting a more natural, holistic approach to a certain goal, a certain transformation in your life. Okay. And spirit is saying like use spirit for technology, use spirit for clarity, use spirit for help. You don't always have to do everything all by yourself, especially as a human. That's why we have spirit guides and an ascension team and things like that. So tap into these other modalities to help you become this person that you want to become. Okay. We have Abracadabra Connect and Osanian Grace. I may be saying some of these things wrong. Okay, gorgeous. So, yeah, you are becoming a master of self right now. And you're learning to tune into your heart and your true purpose rather than listening to your mind and listening to the fleeting emotions. You're learning how to stay in control of your power. And it's not to say that these things are never going to pop in again once you learn that control. No, they're always going to be there. But you learn how to not give them weight. You learn how to just let them float away from you. And I think that's super, super beautiful. Some of y'all may be spending a lot of time in nature, going on walks, and just allowing. I just feel like spending time in nature and seeing how, I said this, I think, in the last reading, like a leaf does not cling to the tree as it's shedding. It just allows itself to fall and it accepts it. It is what it is. So I think that you're going to be learning a lot from nature and a lot from just connecting with your heart space. Every morning I've been lighting a candle for 10 minutes and just staring at it. And that's how I start my day. And there's been a lot of really cool realizations that have come through, a lot of cool energy that I've been feeling. So maybe just doing something like that every day would help you. Maybe you could do it before bed. You never know. I like that. Let me see what else it's saying about. Oh, oopsie. This mic is going crazy. But I want to see what else it's saying about Osanian because I really like that card. And I haven't used this deck in a while. I used it last reading, but I need to use it more often. It's honestly amazing. Okay, so it's God of the Forest, magic, power, healing, sending away the negative forces in your life. Humans are one with nature. Embrace your surroundings. You are a natural healer. Connect with the magic of the forest to find the solution you are seeking. Everything you need is right around you. There's no need to feel anxious. You're creating change with your thoughts first, and your actions will naturally follow. Don't be too hard on yourself. Take a break. Set aside some time each day to do nothing but rest. Okay, fierce. So, yeah, definitely a lot of talk of spending time in nature and also recognizing that you do have everything within you to create the life that you want to create, to go towards the things that you want to go towards. It's just really about trusting that within yourself. And also recognizing, I know the book said, change your thoughts and then your actions will change, especially about certain comfort zones or habits. Sometimes your thoughts are going to tell you to go back towards those things because your brain, that's what it wants you to do because it's comfortable with that, right? So, whenever you find your thoughts and they're not aligning with the things you actually want to do, take a breath, take a step back, and then do something small to redirect that, you know? Like instead of indulging in certain treats, go read for a little bit, you know? Maybe just kind of distract yourself with a healthy habit so that way you're not indulging in the unhealthy stuff, you know? All right, we have Osupa Vision Omo Olorin Singh. Some of y'all may have an O in your name. That's fun. Or maybe you're from Oregon. Interesting. Okay, so yeah, I think that This could be a really challenging time because there is going to be some subconscious blockages, some fears, things like that coming to the surface, right? Because that's what keeps us stagnant. You know, if we had all the confidence in the world and we were ready to move forward and we were just taking the action we felt guided to take, then there wouldn't be an issue. You wouldn't be watching this right now. You know what I mean? It's because of those limited beliefs, those shadows deep down, the comfort zones that the ego and the brain are attached to. It's because of those things that we stay stuck. So, as you're allowing yourself to do that shadow work and reveal these things and go towards your healthy habits, naturally, those fears are going to come to the surface. But they're coming to the surface to be seen. See, like shine a light on it rather than pushing it back away into the darkness or joining it in that darkness, you know? And this is also a situation where you should be very mindful of the things you're saying, right? We all know that words are spells, and you need to make sure you're speaking life and positivity and ambition, excitement into the things that you desire. Of course, some things are going to be hard, but you don't have to say, you know, I can't do it. It's too hard, you know? You can say, it's hard, but I'm strong. It's hard, but I can do it, you know? So just be mindful of the things that you are putting over your dreams, your goals, your life. Okay, so what I like here, we have Alaba Sisepo Union. So this is like the lover's card in this deck. And this was like the moon card. I didn't say that. And then Intergalactic Mastery, Confirmation, and Omo Family. Gorgeous. So yeah, we saw this, these two cards in the last reading, talking about how, you know, different partnerships, family members, situations, environments can be exactly what our souls needed for us to evolve, for us to grow. And sometimes it's usually through those things not working out, through disappointment, that we learn what it is that we need and what we want. So, with Intergalactic Mastery Confirmation, this is fierce. This is like you finally understand why certain things had to go the way they did. You're having a lot of gratitude for the family members, the parents that disappointed you, the partners that didn't show up for you even though you showed up for them. You're understanding why all of that had to happen, and you're grateful for it. You've learned so much from it. And that's such a beautiful place to be, and that's so, so exciting. And some of you guys, this could also represent like a union between like your higher self and your shadow self as well. Some of you all, there could be maybe a new partnership coming through because of you learning and appreciating the difficulties and the lessons you learned from your family. But we also have some little bonus cards here. Oya, Protection, Hood Love, Community, Animal Energy, Channel, and Creation Partnered Sex Magic. So what's really cool is this next phase of your life, first of all, know that you are very much protected, watched over. You should feel powerful. You should feel strong going through this next chapter because everyone, ancestors, spirit guides, higher self, everyone's rooting for you. And you're going towards an energy where you're surrounded by true friends, love, support. There's equal give and take. And you also have this level of control within yourself to where you're not responding to the negativity or people distracting you or your own distractions. You've really mastered the self here, and you're attracting people that represent that inner balance and peace that you have, because as within so without, you know what I mean? So I'm really excited about this. Let's go ahead and dive in a little bit more and see some specifics about this situation. Okay, so let's see about Anchorita Solitude and Crystal Technology Silicon. So, yeah, you're just focusing on yourself. And see, you notice that this crystal has like a person inside of it. This is definitely giving like this is the rebirth of a lifetime, you know? And this card, it's like the person, you can't even see their face, it's a shadow. So I just feel like you're really blending the higher self, the shadow, and understanding, you know, like you need one to get to the other, and allowing yourself to use these parts of you to become wiser, become stronger, more intuitive, rather than letting any either or hold you back or make you feel less than or whatever. All right, tell us more about Anchorita and Crystal Technology. Ooh, I love this. Yes, we have food meditation, I can. Quadamarwa, initiation. So this is like the hanged man in this deck. So yeah, there's a lot of surrendering that's happening right now. And it's the surrendering of indulging in different things that don't serve you. This could be certain thoughts, certain like media, you know, like movies, TV, social media, certain foods, certain drinks, alcohol, you know, all that stuff. So you've really surrendered to the thing, not to, but you've surrendered the things that don't serve you anymore. And you're moving with a lot more intention, a lot more consciousness, rather than just saying, like, I don't know, this is something I've always done, or this is something I've always felt. You just say, like, wait a minute, does this actually serve me? Does this actually make sense for me? And if it doesn't, you're going to surrender it. You're going to let it go, you know? And this can also look like making that progress, but then maybe there's one day where a thought pops in and you're like, I shouldn't do that. And maybe you sit and think about it and reflect on it for a moment. Maybe you feel out, where does this come from? What just happened that made me feel this way? Did I get triggered in some way? I just feel like there's going to be a lot of uncovering, a lot of digging deep, and doing it with an intention of, you know, I want to get dirty. I want to see what's down there. So that way I can reclaim my power from it. I love it. Gorgeous. All right, let's see more about Osenian and Abracadabra. Spending time in nature, connecting with the heart space, recognizing that you are a healer. You can heal yourself. And that, whether or not, like, that's something I always teach my clients. Like, I believe that I'm here to help remind people of the tools and the different things they can do to heal themselves. But essentially, like, you can heal yourself. You know, you just got to be reminded of that. So I love it. I feel like everyone is really starting to feel a lot more powerful, a lot more capable, more motivated than ever before. All right, we have Karasar Autonomy. This is the chariot in this deck, and Adura Sin Sin Tradition, the Hierophant. Yes, this is so cool. Okay, this is an energy of understanding why certain habits, certain behaviors stuck with you for so long. You know, if you don't have a coping mechanism for when you're stressed out, then of course you might, you know, smoke or drink or eat some food you're not supposed to eat or binge watch a show all day and rot in your bed. You know, those are normal responses to stress when you don't have anything to healthy to kind of help you work through it, you know? And so you've come a long way, you know? You don't give your emotions your power as easily. You take a breath before responding. Maybe you meditate about something, journal about it instead of getting riled up or, you know, having it be like pent up aggression inside of you. But there is a part of you that honors and respects the old habits. Not to say that you're going backwards to them, but you understand, you know, they were there for me when I didn't have anything else, when I didn't know any better. And whether anyone likes it or not, you needed those things at the time. Or else, how are you supposed to get through that? So it's like as you're graduating and learning different tools and practices that actually aid you, you have appreciation for those other tools and practices that saved you when nothing else would have been able to. There's layers to this, there's levels to it. So what worked for you, what may work for you right now may not work for you in 10 years. But it doesn't mean that this process right here, right now is not as beautiful and as essential as those maybe higher level things are, you know? This is making me think of yoga. Of course, everyone wants to, do a handstand or, be able to do crow pose or something, whatever. But in order to do those more advanced poses, you have to have your foundation first. You have to know how to, properly put your hands on the mat and your alignment and have your foundation. You have to know how to engage your core and use your breath to keep you balanced. So even, if you're in cat cow and you think, this is silly, I wish I could be doing more, be grateful that you are working your way up, because one day there's a fly in here. I don't know. Sorry about it. But one day you're going to be more advanced and you're going to look back at that version of you and be like, wow, look at how far I've come. I'm glad that I didn't give up, and I'm glad that I kept, showing up to practice, because I've grown so much. Cute. I love it. All right. So Osupa and Omo Aloran. So this is bringing awareness to the shadow aspects, understanding them more, because naturally they're going to come up to the surface as you're shifting and changing and growing. It is only natural for those parts of you to question, second guess, and be scared and come to the surface, because they're coming up to be cleared, and that's a huge part in all of this. All right, we have magic alignment and Umoja star seed. I love. Okay, cool. So a big part of this is understanding that we all agreed to go through certain things before we came here. And it's through the acknowledgement of these things, it's through saying, you know what, I'm ready to grow, I'm ready to change this part of me. That's like the whole point of being a human. It's to come here with different karmas, different things we have to process, learn through, unlearn, shed, all of that. We have to do all of that to become higher and higher versions of ourselves. So one day maybe we won't have to come here, Maybe we'll be able to spread this frequency out into the world and everything will be better. But this is understanding that everything happens for a reason. And the more you can sit in that, the easier I feel these transitions are. Because instead of being upset about being put in certain positions, having to unlearn certain things, having to heal, you have gratitude for it, because that's what you're supposed to be doing. Once you're out of lessons, then you're dead. So this is also understanding that you're never dealt a hand that you can't deal with. Your soul agrees to go through everything before we get here. So know that if something feels like it's breaking you, that's the breakthrough that you need. Stay with it. Don't give up on yourself. You are way more capable. And the thing is, I was going to say more capable than you realize, but you realize it now. And I think that's the difference here. You realize how capable you are. You realize that everything happens for a reason. You realize that you would not be going through these things if you were not strong enough, if they weren't meant for you. They wouldn't be here with you. There's no accidents here. Yes, we all have free will, but that goes into how are you going to handle it, you know? Upgrade of a lifetime. I love it. Okay, so let's get into Omo family Alaba, Sisepo, intergalactic mastery. So yeah, it's like through the different people in your life, you've learned so much, and you are so grateful for that. Of course, it's hard when you're in the midst of it to be like, oh, this is going to be something that teaches me a lot about myself and my needs and how to set boundaries, and I'm going to love it. Of course, you're not feeling that way when you're in the midst of it. But now that it's in the rearview mirror and you can be like, wow, if I hadn't gone through that, I wouldn't be who I am today. I wouldn't know as much as I know. I wouldn't be as wise. That's so cool. I just love it. I love it all. Oh, I love it. I am obsessed. And this is kind of a big part of what we were talking about in the last reading. Creation solo magic, truth, aura. Yes. It's through the heartbreak of others that we found ourselves. You know what I mean? It's like you had to be broken down to rebuild yourself, to come back to your truest self that you may not have even had access to before this stuff was happening to you. But isn't that such a gift to be able to be broken down to nothing, to be able to decide for yourself, you know what, let me rebuild and I'm going to make it look like this, you know? This makes me think of, I don't even know exactly what it is. Like maybe there's some, like almost like a Toy Story movie or something where this may even be something I'm just making up in my head, but I'm seeing some kind of like doll or something like reassemble itself and it decides like, okay, this is what I'm going to look like. Like it's almost like Pickle Rick whenever he was like rebuilding his own stuff, and I feel like he made himself into a rat or something, or like he had a lot of weapons and stuff. I don't watch Rick and Morty like that at all, but it's like that. It's like you get to rebuild yourself. And even though it was difficult to be ripped apart, you made yourself bigger and badder than ever. And that is a gift. And you realize that now. Yes, I love it. See, yeah, you have so much acceptance, so much grace for all of the things that you've been through. And it's because you understand without those things, you would not be where you're at today. You would not be as strong, as wise, as discerning, as intuitive, as creative, as driven as you are today if it weren't for certain people, certain situations breaking you down. It's beautiful. So let's talk about these little bonus cards. We have Oya, Hood Love, Animal Energy, Creation Partner, so Sex Magic Channel, Community Protection. It's like all the good stuff that you've been waiting on is coming. And all it required of you was for you to choose yourself, your true self, not the comfort zones, not the doubt, not the fear, but your true self. I love it. Okay. Tell me more about this here. Oh, I love it. Yes. Okay. Yes, this is so fierce. Yes, because you got here because you understood, you figured out how to turn your pain into power. You understand that, you know, if it wasn't for these unfortunate situations, I wouldn't, you you have to go through painful things to change sometimes. You know what I mean? Like understand that comfort and ease, that is what will kill your drive. But if you go through heartbreak, if you go through pain, if you're pushed down, then you got to get back up. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's when you hit that rock bottom that you're like, wait, I can do better than this, and I will. You know, I love it. All right. We have enchantment, celebration, Ozuzi, nature, glamour energy, glam, Yamaya, resurrection. Yes, this is, I keep saying it, this is going to be the rebirth of a lifetime. For real. You are not even going to be recognizable to yourself, to other people. It's going to be crazy. And that's why you're going to be drawing in all kinds of new people, all kinds of community and balance and just ease. I love it. See, some of y'all are definitely going to be celebrating. Cheers. Okay. But yeah, like this is the time, like this is, I can't wait. I can't wait to just kind of circle around the lesson part of this and just be like, wait a minute. I really just changed my life like that. Like that's what it's giving. It's so cool. And what's awesome with this glam energy, it's like, it says you get to be in charge of your reality, basically. You know, if you're not in a good mood, okay, put on your favorite music, put on a cute outfit, put on some lipstick or something. You know, go take a walk outside instead of dwelling in the negativity. We are proactively changing our lives, and we get to see the beauty that that brings. Ozuzi nature, I want to read about that. I don't even remember what that means. I feel like it talks about maybe being healthier, more natural, also looking to nature for guidance, but let's see. Lots of O's, lots of O's. Oh, 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 oh. Okay, this is the Magician of the Forest. Plants offer spiritual cleansing through herbal baths, jewelry, and remedies that can show us collectively and individually what the future may hold. This is what the future is holding. This is it. And they're telling you, especially with this other tree forest person, it's like, look to nature. Nature is going to be giving you previews about what's to come for you. And what's to come is like, oh, it's so beautiful. It's so big. It's so much celebration. It's so much love. It's so much peace. Okay, fierce. Nature will provide symbols at every turn for you to gain more insight. I like it. This is a really good reading because it's saying, you know, obviously there's a lot of hope and a lot of excitement here, but Spirit's saying, we're confirming for you, it's going to be turned. Okay. Hopefully it's next reading. I don't know if it's probably not going to be next week, but very exciting future is here. It's coming. And Spirit's saying, if you ever are doubting or if you need any guidance or any answers, just go to nature. So I love it. It's beautiful. All right. We're going to close it out with some self-care messages. And if this resonated, let me know with a like, a comment, subscribe. All of that helps the channel grow. And if you guys would like more from me, like maybe you want a personal reading, cord cutting ritual, I do soul alchemy ceremonies, all that stuff. If you want to know more about what is a soul alchemy ceremony, go down below to the description box, go to my website, and you can find all that information there. I also have a newsletter that I do. So if you want to sign up for the newsletter, get some discounts, coupons, exclusive content, guidance, things like that, you can sign up on my website as well. Okay, so some self-care messages. Number 22, aromatherapy. Some of y'all may be seeing 2s or 4s. Why does my, hold on. I think it's just on my end, which is, that works for me actually. Anyways, aromatherapy. So light a candle, spray some good scents. I'm not super into like Febreze and stuff like that, but there's like that Zoom mist that's really nice. Lighting some incense, a nice candle, things like that. Just doing little things to make your space nice, to bring in some lovely, indulgent things, because you're living a good life right now, so it should smell like it, right? Ooh, number 12, charity. Yes, giving back. Especially during the holiday season, there's a lot of people that don't have what you have. and there are people who have more than what you have, but it's just nice to give back and lend a helping hand and to do something for someone else. That's really good, especially if you're struggling with like your ego and the brain aspect in all of this. Doing charity work will help you not necessarily focus on what am I getting out of this. You know what I mean? Obviously, when you're doing charity work, that's not at the forefront. But sometimes, whenever you're going through big changes, the ego and the brain want to know, like, what are we doing here? So if you remind them, it's not all about what am I going to gain, but about spreading kindness, spreading love, then in your day to day life, that will help with the programming. You know what I mean? I hope this microphone has not been too annoying for you guys, but we'll see. Number 26, yoga. That's funny because I talked about yoga. So, yeah, do some yoga, move that body around. Especially if one of your goals is to like be healthier. Yoga is a really great way to do that because, first of all, there's a million people on YouTube that do free yoga. So, I know sometimes being in a yoga class can be very nerve wracking. So, if you want to just start your fitness journey, but maybe at a slower pace or maybe at home, do some yoga. And number 23, self love. See, all of these have twos, so two may be a significant number for you at this time. But self love for you and for your shadow. Not as in, okay, I'm going to let my shadow run amok and love it no matter what. But no, it's saying, hey, thanks for showing me the difficult parts of me, maybe the parts of me that I've pushed away. But I love you and I love myself. And that's this. And it's beautiful and I love it. Okay. I'm having a little bit of too much of a good time right now, but I just like the energy of this reading. It's very like whimsical, very giddy, very cute. And I love it because I know right now I'm going through a phase of like, just really holding myself accountable and staying focused. And it's really nice that there's going to be some very beautiful blessings due to that. And I already knew that, but it's just nice whenever spirit confirms it. And what's funny is this incense that I'm burning is divine blessings. So the blessings are coming in, and it's all because of you doing that hard work. So good job. All right, that's all I have for you today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to scroll down to the description box if you guys would like to check out my other social media or my website, or if you need to contact me for anything. All my info is down below. So thank you for watching. I will see y'all next time. Bye-bye.